Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. In this video, I've got a few topics for you actually. The primary one I want to talk about has to do with XRP remittances. I've got the latest charts put together by none other than Galgatron. I've also got a piece from Daily Hodl here. It's titled 81 million people can now buy BTC, XRP, ETH, BCH, and LTC through Japanese messaging giant. So I want to talk a little bit about that, and I'll wrap the piece. I'll wrap the video up with a piece not specifically related to XRP, which is why I save it for the last in case you're not interested and you're just here for the XRP stuff. That's perfectly reasonable. This piece is titled "SEC Chair and Commissioners to Talk Crypto at U.S. Congress Hearing Next Week." Now, before we get rolling here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you would please delicately tap that like button, but don't get all smashy with it, you might break it. And also, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel, it does a body good. So here's a tweet from Galgatron today. It's from this morning. Tweets, latest charts. I made some changes so micropayments don't bury the other lines. Micropayments use the right scale, and all the others use the left scale. This better shows the noise, little upward tick in the remittance-sized payments. And so the one that we're always interested in looking at is the yellow line. At least me personally, maybe other people are interested in different lines for whatever reason, but this one specifically having to do with remittances. The yellow line is remittances and payments between 10 and less than 500 United States dollars. Now, the reason that that's a key level is that's the size of most remittances. And so you can see here on the chart, and I'm going to there's some comments from Galgatron below on this actually. And I kind of mentioned this, I think I mentioned this at least once in a previous video where I was talking about charts, but you can see these weird, they look like mountains here basically, where I'm kind of moving the mouse here. And then they kind of end pretty abruptly here and what was going on there. And so the theory basically from Galgatron is that there must have been one major player, because if you see like where you see these tops here, that's Monday through Friday, and then we see these lows here, it's Saturday and Sunday. So that's the weekend, and whoever the major player is, they're skewing the data so much because they're no longer functioning on Saturday and Sunday. That's the theory anyway, and it seems to make a ton of sense to me, right? And so that's fascinating. So don't know who it is or the reason why, but it looks like it kind of dropped off over here. And that was as of what? I don't know, when would it be fair to say? Some like, I don't know, beginning, or was that mid-August maybe? Or maybe I don't know. It's somewhere around there. It doesn't really matter. The point is it happened at some point roughly a month ago. I think it's safe to say that. It's probably reasonable. So let me scroll down a little bit further now. And then he's got a chart with some of payments in USD, logarithmic, moving averages. I usually don't highlight every single thing because my videos in the past have been too long. He's got a chart here with large payment breakouts. And this one I always like to pull up, though. This one's cool. Account activations. And he writes, if we see a return to a higher number of remittance-sized payments without a corresponding bump in speculative account openings, that would be a pretty good indicator that utility is behind a meaningful amount of payment volume, which makes perfectly good sense to me, which is why it's so awesome that he's digging and actually putting these charts together. So take a look at this. This is the first time that I can officially report there are over 1.8 million XRP account activations there. And if you see this more notable slope from right where I'm circling here, which is, I think, mid-May or so, something like that, from there all the way up until, what is this, June, end of June, something like that. That was during the biggest part of the crypto bull run, especially with Bitcoin starting around mid-May of this year, and there's more of a frenzy around the entire asset class. Say what you will about the XRP price, there were a lot of account openings around that time period, and then went back to more or less the pace that it was at prior to the frenzy. So that's just humans being humans and getting interested in doing stuff. That's my speculation on that. Seems to make sense to me. Anyway, and then he writes, these charts are from my spreadsheet using data from BigQuery, using data populated by Wietse Wind, who is the creator of the XRP Tipbot and the founder of XRPL Labs, which is indeed funded through Ripple's Spring Initiative, and also from at Camille 803067772. And so there you go. And then Sunny SoCal writes, nice change with the scales. And then you have Lanthanide, who writes, how feasible would it be to do the same graph, but excluding payments from that weird noisy wallet that you identified a couple of months ago? And then Galgatron, and that's what I was citing before when I was talking about the change in remittances. It's not that, like, because it looked like everything just collapsed. It didn't just collapse, at least that's the theory. There must have been one big player, or else how do you skew the data that much instantly? So anyway, Galgatron responds to that. He writes, the only noisy wallets were for micropayments and failed transactions. I don't show failed transactions, and micropayments are contained to the purple line. Beyond that, I want to show everything without tainting the chart. And then Lanthanide responded, didn't you and some others identify a noisy wallet that was behind all the remittance-sized payments, the one that was producing the strong Monday through Friday signal? Sending money to lots of other destinations for no apparent reason, but not looking particularly X-Rapid-like. And then Galgatron responds, I see, that's right. That account seems really quiet now, whatever it was. If volume starts picking up again, I'm sure we'll start dissecting the contributors. And then Lanthanide responded, I just thought it might be interesting to see what the graph looked like with that particular wallet stripped out. If it was feasible to do, give us a better look of historical remittance-sized payments, although we'd still have the speculative froth from earlier in there, which is a reasonable question. When we're trying to get an overall picture, and I know this running a small business myself, when you're trying to dissect data, outliers can screw up everything, and then that can result in you making bad decisions in a business-wise. So anyway, if you want to dissect this in a particular manner, I can see where the value would lie in what Lanthanide's saying, so as far as just pulling it out and see what the rest of the market's doing, if there is just one player, if somebody feels so inclined to do it. And I have no idea how Galgatron even puts this stuff together. I don't know if that's reasonably possible, but regardless, I certainly appreciate the fact that he's willing to put these charts together at all. And so as he continues to put them out, I'm always happy to report on the work that he's doing here, because I find it really valuable. And then wanted to share with you, here we go, this. Just since we were talking about remittances here, I thought I'd just share this with you. And Mr. B XRP today sent out a tweet, said, is it confirmed that MoneyGram is using XRP in their flows now? If not, do we have a date? And I know that it was officially announced that they went live, I can't remember, at some point in the last few weeks, and as soon as I found out, I reported it on the channel. But I wanted to show, there was a response from Michael Nardolillo, if I'm saying that right, and there's a little screen grab from, this is a part of the earnings call, I believe, and so I wanted to read just a short little snippet. And so this is from Larry Angelilli, who is the chief financial officer at MoneyGram. He writes, we've been ramping, starting with some pretty low levels, referencing X-Rapid here. I don't foresee really much of a material impact on Q3. We're live, we're doing stuff. We did move money to Mexico in a minute 13 seconds. But I think we're going to ramp. We're not going to be maxing out or stressing their system, and so it will build gradually. I think in the fourth quarter, we'll start to see some impact. I think due to the kind of confidentiality and the unique nature of what we're doing, and I don't think we can really describe at this point what the P&L impact is, but I would just say that we're expecting it to influence Q4 right there. And so, cool statement. And again, just in the context of remittances, the ecosystem is indeed being built out. So all good things in time. Next piece here, this is from dailyhodl.com. 81 million people can now buy Bitcoin, XRP, ETH, BCH, and LTC through Japanese messaging giant. Line, Japan's dominant messaging app, has rolled out its new Japanese-facing cryptocurrency exchange. The social networking giant, which reports 81 million monthly active users in Japan alone, now offers trading for Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin. Tokyo-headquartered Line previously rolled out an international-facing exchange called Bitbox in July 2018, which offered services worldwide, excluding the United States and Japan. Now, with their new domestic exchange, BitMax, the company says it's ready to tap into their largest market. And here's a quote. While numerous existing exchanges already have a large customer base, Line sees cryptocurrency exchanges as still in their infancy and believes the industry has potential for even greater growth. Then the piece continues, the exchange is offered through Line's digital wallet and links with the Line Pay service, allowing for fast deposits and withdrawals in yen. The company says it plans to emphasize security. Quote, the experienced team behind the design, building, and operation of the Line platform has also been responsible for building BitMax's security environment. As part of cryptocurrency security measures, BitMax uses the high-security wallet from BitGo Incorporated, a U.S.-based provider of world-class technologies. BitMax also clearly separates and manages customer assets from the company's own, as well as stores cryptocurrencies in a cold wallet. A dedicated team has been especially created to manage the cold wallet itself as part of Line's commitment to providing the most reliable and secure service possible. And so given that XRP is indeed a part of this, yes, it bodes well for us as XRP holders, methinks, most certainly. So cool stuff. And again, as I say, when these types of things occur, little baby infrastructure getting built out. One day it's going to be full grown. All right, last piece here. SEC Chair commissioners to talk crypto at U.S. Congress hearing next week. The U.S. House Financial Services Committee plans to question the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, about cryptocurrencies and Facebook's Libra project next week, among a host of other topics. According to a calendar notice on the House of Representatives website, the committee will hold a one-panel hearing with SEC Chairman Jay Clayton, as well as Commissioners Robert Jackson, Elad Roisman, Allison Lee, and Crypto Mom Hester Pierce. I would like to know who gave her that. She is called Crypto Mom all the time. I don't know who coined that, but it seems to be sticking. So anyway, that's on September 24th in the Rayburn House Office Building. The hearing will cover the SEC's actions around the cryptocurrency space, as well as private markets versus public markets, public company disclosures, enforcement, and fiduciary responsibilities. While the notice does not specify which areas the committee might focus on, it does note that the SEC published its analysis of whether a token is an investment contract using the 3 prongs of the Howey test, and it includes a general definition of exchange-traded funds. You need completely new regulations here. Anyway, the piece continues. Exchange-traded funds, ETFs, are a type of investment company which can be redeemed by the fund like mutual funds, but also allow investors to trade throughout the day on an exchange at market prices. The notice reads, adding, quote, if an asset is an investment company and not exempt from registration, it must comply with regulations designed to minimize conflicts of interest, including regular disclosure of their financial condition and investment policies to investors. And so, I'll be curious to see what they talk about here. But from a regulatory perspective, talk about moving at a snail's pace. They just need to acknowledge that it's a matter of fact as far as I'm concerned. Cryptocurrencies and distributed ledger technology, specifically blockchains that have any native digital asset attached, you cannot effectively regulate them under existing framework because it's a new animal that didn't previously exist. Adapt, please, government. Please, this is so stupid. Cryptocurrencies can morph over time. They can also go from being centralized to decentralized, and when that happens, they should be governed accordingly. Should they not? Is that not reasonable? You can't do that with the existing framework. You just cannot do it. It's not written in such a way that it would that it's even considered. So to me, this has always been silly, but whatever. We'll see what they actually talk about here. But I'll tell you what, as long as ultimately the government at large, the federal government specifically in the United States, differentiates between different types of cryptocurrency so that the baby is not thrown out with the bathwater. Okay, I'll be happy if we can get there. And that's why I'm so happy that Ripple's working hand in hand with regulators. And I'm sure that that's having some sort of effect. These people all know each other. It's got to be effective. I mean, there's look, if I tell you what, if XRP were a security, don't you think that it probably would have been called out by now, especially with it being in the spotlight in terms of, well, at least in the crypto world. I mean, it's reported as 3rd in market cap, according to CoinMarketCap and LifeCoinWatch. Don't you think that if Ripple, the company, were engaging in nefarious, illegal activities, that the hammer would have come down by now? I sure do. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!